whenever you feel like you need it. Because, you know, most of the time people are full of...
You were saying about you stayed in the Catskill. Do you stay there? You know, Gary Knoll has properties there. A lot of other people are now going up there because they said the climate is changing. Because what do you think of California? Gary Knoll says from now to 20 years, California is going to be destroyed totally. What do you say about that? That's why he moved to upstate New York and you know, he has farming there.
Hey, look, I'm with you. I mean, I couldn't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, the United States is dropping depleted uranium on Iraq and Afghanistan. No one's accountable for it. No one cares. There's no Geneva violation of, you know, Geneva Treaty violation. Nothing like that's going on. What does depleted uranium do? It kills everything. In fact, it gets in the food chain and problems get worse over time. So there's been a dirty nuclear war going on over there for 10 years. No one cares. Just because there's no mushroom cloud, everyone's like, well, there's no nuclear war, it's all good. So the U.S. has been using weapons of mass destruction on Iraq for 10 years, in Afghanistan for God knows how long now, 5, 6 years. No one.
Maybe
so
you can that
indicates to me. That indicates to me that the level of consciousness that's at the top right now isn't even low. It's no. So it's kind of like run for your life. You know, hang in there as best you can, but at some point you're just gonna have to run for your life because
this is the best place to live now in the United States.
I think most people go, we've got to go south, right? You get into raw food, you're like, I got to go south. But for me, actually, it's north.
Upstate is
and the reason why you go north is because that's where the water is. That's where the water. If you have water, you can survive. And if you have water, you'll eventually figure it out. Now, California doesn't have any water.
And away from the sea, because the sea level is rising.
That's up in the mountains. So you actually see in the mountains you have a really interesting ecosystem. You have spring water available. You have trees still. There's still forest there. You have all your medicines, all the medicinal mushrooms and everything is still there. You have enough food. You can procure enough wild berries. Right now, there's wild rose hips out in the forest, and they're good. You could go out and collect wild rose hips. You know, fill up bags of it, save it through the whole winter, and have food all winter if you had to.
You get a big place, and we all can come there and get a piece of it.
Look, I've been trying to convince one of our crew here about that to keep her place upstate because it's like that kind of place.
Route 79, if anybody wants to know, has the spring with the faucet. Route 79 in between Cornell and 81. There's a faucet. You bring your barrel, fill it with water.
Route 79.
Route 79.
What? Route 79 between where?
Cornell University and 81. Route 81.
Spring water going through the pipes. So when you get it,
yeah, I mean, it's not the best thing ever. It's not the worst thing ever because at least you're getting it pretty much fresh out of the spring. A lot of times they'll hammer like a pipe into like a rock to channel the spring water out because a lot of springs come out of rocks. It could be done right because you could hammer in there instead of hammering in an iron pipe, you could hammer in a copper pipe or a gold-plated pipe, and then it wouldn't damage the water at all. In fact, it'd probably improve the water. That could be done, but you know the level of consciousness that we're dealing with on the planet Earth right now is like less than zero.
you could take it home and put it through one of those.
Yeah, you could. Sure, there's tons of things you could do with it, but you got to start with spring water. Question over here.
Yeah, what would you say about nightshades and inflammation?
Nightshades and inflammation. Some people are allergic to nightshade family foods like tomatoes, tobacco, potato, what else? Eggplant, tomatillo, peppers. Any other nightshades that I missed in there? I don't think so. Okay, so you got to just gauge that. Some people are allergic to it, and the reaction of the allergy is they get stiffness. I'm unfortunately not like that, so I can eat nightshades. However, when somebody's dealing with aches and pains and stiffness chronically, that's one of the first things to check. Like, knock all the nightshades out and see if it goes away. A lot of times it does go away. A lot of the biggest problems that people are facing, is fascinating, are just the removal of maybe 10 foods out of their diet would just solve all their problems. Like get, you know, meat, dairy, eggs, maybe some nightshades in some cases. Get off, for example, any kind of artificial beverage, soda kind of a thing. It usually comes down to about 10 things, and then once that's out, then everything just starts to improve. I mean, we succeed and live in spite of ourselves. I mean, we're doing the best we can to kill ourselves. I mean, we're still going. I don't know about you. I'm telling you, I've been in this for a long time. I look out in the world, and I'm like, how could this planet keep turning? How could things keep going on? How can people get up in the morning? You know, they got loaded with all kinds of stuff in here. You know, it's just an unbelievable level of parasites. Can we use that word? Probably not. It's illegal. Let's go back here.
Distilled water.
Distilled water. On Highway 79 between Cornell University and the 81 is a place you can pull off on the side of the road, and there's a spring water coming out. It's a tap spring water running all year long. It never freezes, by the way. Spring water will never freeze, and you can always get your water right there. And that's really by far the best way to get water. You get it yourself at the source like that. Anything other than that is not quite right. Distilled water is not natural. Definitely even reverse osmosing the heck out of New York City water. Bad news. It's homeopathically been disturbed. So even if you filter the heck out of New York City water, if you drink it, it's still not right.
Yeah, so nobody can go all the way up there to get that water, but if you're in New York and you want to have water, which one is still a reverse osmosis?
This is what I would do. You could meet this gentleman right here. He'll go up and get that water for you.
Yes, probably will.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about, people have been asking me for like 2 years. I'm going to have to do something.
I got into that for a while. Where I was going, and suddenly it was like, it was 5 jugs of water in the back, then 15, then it was 50.
Right.
Then the whole thing was like solid, and we would go and fill up, and it would be like, you know, it would be like 3 guys like on a team doing it. You know, trying to divvy it up to all the friends. And that's okay. That's okay, and that's a good thing. Maybe you trade up each month. Somebody else does it. And,
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's always good to get an hour ride out of New York. 2 hours. Okay, question over here. Runners. What would I recommend to runners? For joints and things? Oh, lactic acid buildup. Number 1 thing for runners, celery juice. What's going on with celery juice? It's highly alkaline, but very soft, very gentle. It's also electrolytic. It's a great electrolyte. It's also capable of, because of the alkalinity, buffering what? The buildup of lactic acid. Why do runners get acidified? Actually, athletes get acidified really easily. The reason is because they're not taking in anything alkaline. What is alkaline?
Green.
There's only, if you get this, oh my God, if you got this, you would have got some today. Has anybody been like reading these books that says you got to get acid alkaline balanced or get alkaline? Anybody read books like that? Okay. The number 1 and 2 alkaline foods are vegetables and herbs. And that's it. Okay, now I know someone's going to be like, I read that book and it said that almonds were alkaline. Anybody read a book that said that? Almonds are not alkaline. That's a mistake, and I'll tell you what, it's a scientific mistake. If you want to know what the mistake is, they're identifying potassium as an alkaline mineral. And when you extract potassium and then ash it, it's an alkaline mineral, but in the plant it's neutral. That's the big problem. So nuts are really high in potassium. So they're getting identified as alkaline, they're not alkaline. And you need both. You need acid and alkaline, but we need more alkaline. How do we get more alkaline? Again? Green vegetables, herbs. Which kind of herbs? That's right. Yes. Put her on the spot. She got that.
What happened to the fruits?
What happened to the fruits? Fruits are all great. It's all good, but they're not as alkaline as herbs and vegetables. So notice the problem that we have more now than ever before. Sugar problems are creating all kinds of inability to eat fruit. Candida, for example. It's worse now than ever before. Now there is a way to get better, but it's something we've got to be aware of is that sugar feeds the bad guys. You ever seen a parasite smile? If you look at a tapeworm, you'll notice that it doesn't have any teeth. You know why? Because it eats sugar. And that's true. And what's in a tapeworm? About 6 or 7 different viruses. So it's a virus factory too. And if we really piece it all together, we'll quickly see that, yes, if in fact we could stay reasonably healthy eating garbage, my God, if we actually ate the best food ever, and got on the best herbs ever, and got the parasites out, it's probable that we would never be sick again ever for any reason. And that's actually the truth.